Today, we're jumping into the Indian Constitution to really figure out what it means to be a citizen. We're going to look at the identity it gives us, the power it hands us, and, just as importantly, the responsibilities it asks of us in return.
So, that's the big question, right? I mean, beyond just having a passport or living here, what does our Constitution actually say about who we are? What are our powers and what are our protections? Let's dive in and find out.
Okay, here's our game plan. We'll start with this idea of a single unified identity. Then we'll get into the incredible power of your vote. After that, we're breaking down our fundamental rights, but also understanding, crucially, where they have limits. And we'll wrap up by looking at the duties that come with the whole package of being a citizen.
All right, first stop on our journey, our identity. The Constitution puts forward a really specific, really powerful idea about who we are as a people, together.
So the core principle here is something called single citizenship. It's a simple but profound idea. Whether you live in Punjab or Kerala or way out in Manipur, your primary identity is Indian. In a country as incredibly diverse as ours, this was a very deliberate choice by the Constitution's framers to build national unity above everything else. Now, to really get why this is a big deal, let's look at a place like the USA. Over there, a person has what's called dual citizenship. They're a citizen of their state, say New York, and they're a citizen of the United States. In India, it's totally different. Our citizenship is singular. It's national.
And this image, well, it just perfectly captures that whole idea, doesn't it? Despite all our amazing differences in language, culture, and food, we are all constitutionally one people, united under that single identity of being citizens of India.
Okay, so we've established this shared identity. Now what? What's the most fundamental power the Constitution actually gives us? Well, it's the power to shape our own democracy. It's the power of the vote. And that power comes to every single citizen at the age of 18. This is what's known as universal adult franchise. And the universal part is key. It means it doesn't matter what your background is, your caste, your religion, your gender, none of it matters. If you're 18, your voice counts. Your vote is a foundational pillar of our democracy. So we've got our identity, we've got our power, but what about protection? That brings us to a really core part of the Constitution, our fundamental rights. Think of them like a shield, a personal shield for every single citizen.
You see, the Constitution doesn't just see these as dry legal rules. No, they're framed as basic human rights that are absolutely essential for the all-round development of a human being. In other words, these rights are the bedrock conditions we need to live with dignity and to reach our full potential.
And right at the heart of the right to freedom is Article 19. This is a big one. It gives us 6 absolutely crucial freedoms that really shape our daily lives. The freedom to speak our minds, to gather peacefully, to create groups, and the freedom to live and work anywhere in our own country.
Okay, this table here is super useful. It lays out all the major rights in a really clear way. You can see everything from the right to equality, which fights discrimination, all the way to the right to freedom of religion. This is actually a great spot to pause and just let it all sink in.
Okay, but here's where things get a little more complicated. That powerful shield of rights we just talked about, well, it isn't completely unbreakable. It's not absolute. Which leads to a really important question. Are these rights absolute? I mean, can you just do whatever you want in the name of your fundamental rights?
And the answer from the Constitution itself is a very, very clear no.
So why not? Well, our rights can be limited by what the Constitution calls reasonable restrictions. What does that mean? Basically, your freedom of speech doesn't give you the right to incite violence. Your freedom to assemble doesn't mean you can block a highway. The state can step in and put limits on these rights to protect things like public order, national security, and the general welfare of everyone. It's a constant, delicate balancing act between your liberty and the good of society. And this whole idea of balance brings us to the final piece of our puzzle today. So far, we've been talking about what the Constitution gives to us, the citizens. Now, let's flip that around and look at what it asks of us.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? Duties and rights go hand in hand. It's like two sides of the same coin. You can't really have one without the other, because rights need a responsible society to thrive in.
These are our fundamental duties, which were actually added to the Constitution back in 1976. Now, here's a really key difference you got to understand. Unlike your rights, which you can go to court to enforce, these duties are, well, they're non-justiciable. You can't be sued for not doing them. They're more like a moral compass, a guide for being a responsible citizen, things like promoting harmony and protecting our shared culture.
So when you boil it all down, it comes back to this beautiful balance, this symmetry.
Your rights are the shield the nation gives you to protect you and help you grow. And your duties? That's your contribution back. That's your role in making the nation stronger and making sure everyone else can enjoy their rights too.
Which leaves us with one final thought, a question for you really. We all have this shield of rights, and we all have these duties. The real question is, in our own day-to-day lives, how are we balancing both?